Hello and welcome to FlexSystem. My name is Clay Hells and I'm President and CEO. This is our IBM Business Partner Innovation Center. Here we can do demos, we can do proof of concepts, we can do training, things that whatever your needs may be. Today you're going to see a demo that was recorded here. We hope you enjoy it and thank you for your time.
So let's jump into setting up PureFlex with the PureFlex System Manager. We're going to break this up into a series of videos so that it's easier to go back afterwards and study what the demo flow was and what some of the key messages were. As I talk through this, we'll take a minute to talk about the messages from these different areas and also work on how to get things set up quickly and easily in order to aid with the use of this product. So this is the initial setup view of the Home tab of the Flex System Manager, commonly referred to as the FSM. There are 6 wizards within this tab. The other tabs are additional setup plugins, administration, applications, and learn. The Learn tab is an information center where you can learn about how to use the Flex System Manager. Back on the initial setup tab, IBM's direction is to use the FSM Explorer, which is a more visually friendly interface. Within the FSM Explorer, there are several dashboards that you'll use to set up and manage the system. Within the initial setup view, you'll expand the chassis to show the Flex System Manager node, any Intel node or power nodes that are installed. Hovering over the chassis or any of the nodes will pop up additional information. Selecting the chassis will bring up the hardware map. Selecting on any of the nodes will bring up a view of the elements associated with that node. Selecting any of the icons on the left will open up the resources associated with them. Across the toolbar, there are several drop-down menus, each with their own set of wizards. For example, within the Security tab, you can set up your users, groups, roles, and credentials. You can also change your password and create a new user. So as you can see, it can be pretty easy to set up, monitor, and administer the PureFlex system. I would encourage you to poke around and experiment before bringing the system live. In the next segment, we will go into detail on how these wizards can ease the administrator's workload. Welcome back to our series of videos on setting up PureFlex with the Flex System Manager. After the initial setup, the next point of management is the chassis map. As you can see by this map, we have a small configuration. We have one chassis, one Intel node, and a power node, without the integrated V7000 storage system. If you have multiple chassis, which are managed from a single FSM, you would see them here and would be able to manage them from the single, easy-to-use interface. In our case, we have a single chassis, and with the live map, I can see how it's configured. As I mouse over the individual pieces, I get a pop-up that has more information on what I'm viewing. This is my x86 node. Down here in the corner, there's a single-wide power node. And then there's the FSM itself in the lower left-hand corner. Very important point here is that we are managing a mixed environment. It has both x86 and power systems, and we are managing it here from the same tool. Let me point out some of the features of the chassis map. There's the front and the rear of the chassis. There are several parts to the front of the chassis view. By hovering over or clicking on the edge of the chassis, you can see information about the overall chassis data, and hovering over any of the 14 nose bays shows similar information, as long as they are occupied. Along the bottom, there are pull-down menus and information buttons. As you can see, on the rear view, there are several items. There are 4 I/O module bays, which can be either Ethernet or fiber channel. There are up to 6 power supplies with no power domains. 8 main fans cool the nodes, and 2 additional fans draw air through the chassis. As I select the Ethernet switch, it indicates by being yellow that there's an alert. When I hover over it, I can see if there are any outstanding issues. There's also a blue informational indicator here. Selecting the switch, a pop-up shows the information and any alerts. Down below the chassis, there's a summary detail panel. And next to it on the right is a Common and General Actions tab. Within these panels, you can see details and use the submenus to execute different wizards. Selecting the host, the VM's icon, here on the left, information about these nodes and utilization percentage is displayed. Double-clicking the node brings you to a detailed page about the node, and as you can see, there's a lot of information. Using the action pull-down is how you can power on and off, set security parameters, and change system configuration options. Let's go back to the main FSM menu and look at other components. Selecting Network icon shows general information about the switch or switches installed in the chassis. Double-clicking in the right plane will bring you to the detail page for the switch. Here, like the other pages before, you can see there's an abundance of information and actions that you can select from. More and more information. In summary, the FSM is a great tool to manage either a single node or mixed node environment. I invite you to come into our Business Partner Innovation Center and get some hands-on experience and see for yourself how easy it is to manage and deploy Intel and Power nodes in the newest member of IBM's system portfolio. Thank you for your time, and I hope to see you soon.